Okay, so I'm Devereaux Frazier, and we're back on a beautiful Thursday night, getting ready for the Texans and the Jaguars. Texans coming off a loss to the Patriots on Sunday. Jacksonville coming off a surprising win over the Cleveland Browns, despite letting Josh Gordon set NFL record. Um, Key or offensively for tonight's game for the Texans of Case Keenum and his outstanding chemistry with Andre Johnson. We'll have Ben Tate, who rushed for 3 touchdowns on Sunday. And for the Jaguars, we'll have Chad Henne and a cast of underperforming wide receivers and tight ends. Defensively, we'll have reigning Defensive Player of the Year, J.J. Watt and the Texans, along with Whitney Merciless, Brooks Reed, and Jonathan Joseph. Again, and the Jaguar defense that has done surprisingly well given the lack of overall talent. Paul Posluszny, Jonathan Cyprin. Right now, both teams aren't really in a playoff hunt. In the playoff hunt right now, they are vying for top seeding in next year's draft. Texans so far hold the number 1 pick, and the Jaguars between picks 3 and 6. I think keys for the Texans are going to be their ability to run the football with Ben Tate and Dennis Johnson. And for the Jaguars, offensively, I think they're going to have to get the ball out of Chad Henne's hands so J.J. Watt doesn't have a heyday. I think a lot of quick passes. And Maurice Jones-Drew has had a surprising resurgence over the past few weeks. So they can get the ball out of Henne's hands and throw some quick stuff over the middle and to the outside. I think the Jags have a pretty good chance. I think the Jaguars have done a few surprising things this year, like they held up with the Cardinals. The Jaguars have actually done a pretty good job this year. They just haven't closed out games, but they've been able to hang with some teams this year. And last week, going on the road in the game, people pretty much didn't expect them to win. Despite letting Josh Gordon go wild, the Jaguars wound up winning it. So I'm going to take I'm going to take the Jaguars tonight. I think they can beat the Texans. The Texans got on the lead against the Patriots and then could finish it out, whereas the Jaguars got down against the Browns but came back to win it. I think the Jaguars can win tonight. I'm going to say Jaguars 30, Texans 23. Case Keenum has a nice rapport with Andre Johnson, but they don't think that the rookie will be able to do enough against this Jaguar defense. I think their defense gets a couple turnovers, and I think Chad Henne plays a safe, manageable game. I think the Jaguars get the 4th win of the season and the 3rd in the past 4 weeks. Just want to let you know the Seahawks did beat the Saints 34-7. Russell Wilson 3 touchdowns. Drew Brees on 147 passing yards broke his own streak of 43 straight games with at least 200 passing yards. The record will stay with Dan Fouts. Seattle playing some good defense without Brandon Brown or Walter Thurman. They now have a key matchup on Sunday against the Niners. Saints have to travel back to New Orleans, but they take on the Carolina Panthers, who have won 8 straight. Now on to this week's preview. Outside of that game, a few big games this week. We have, besides Carolina, New Orleans, and Seattle, San Francisco, have Detroit, Philadelphia. That game has playoff implications. Lions currently leading the division, whereas the Eagles are tied for second in their division. The Nick Foles and Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson and Deshaun Jackson and LaShawn McCoy and Reggie Bush. I think that game is going to be a lot of points, a lot of yards. I could easily see over 1,000 total combined yards between these two offenses. I could easily see a shootout. I think it'll really come down to which defense can get a turnover. Because if either team gets one extra possession, that's one extra possession to score a touchdown, I think that team will have the win. I think the Eagles have found their guy. I'm taking the Eagles. I don't think Nick Foles throws a pick this week. The Lions secondary is not very good, and with Deshaun and Riley Cooper and Brent Selleck and rookie Zach Ertz, I think Nick Foles throws for over 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and I take the Eagles in a shootout, 41-35. In the Panthers-Saints game, I think keys for the Panthers will be what they've been doing past 8 games, good running game and solid defense. I think they stifled Drew Brees at home. Yes, I think they beat Drew Brees at home. I think Cam has one of his better games this year, and I think the Panthers go ahead and win this one. I'm taking the Panthers 30-21, and then the Seahawks and the Niners. The Niners got Crabtree, got Manningham back, but what's plagued them all year has been Kaepernick's inconsistency. I think that continues this week. Seattle's defense is too good. Last time these guys met up, it was week 2 again in Seattle, though. Seattle beat them 29-3. I don't think it's that big of a blowout, but I do think Seattle holds them under 17. I take Seattle 30-16 in that game. Another big game, although it's not being talked about much like a big game, the Colts and the Bengals. Colts leading, both teams leading their division, although they might both be able to win their divisions. Looks like both teams will wrap up their divisions unless the Ravens or Steelers make a severe push. The Colts sitting above the Bengals right now. I think keys to that game going to be, can the Colts get back on track? Yes, they won last week, but Vinatieri kicked 5 field goals. Against his Bengal offense, 5 field goals aren't going to do it. Well, we've seen this year, Andy Dalton and the Bengals offense can easily put up 5 touchdowns. I don't know how the Colts are going to stop this Bengal offense. Andy Dalton, A.J. Green, Jermaine Gresham, Tyler Eifert, Gio Bernard, Benny Green Ellis, Marvin Jones, Lavelle Hawkins. I think he just ran down their entire receiver core. Mohamed Sanu. I think this game might be a shootout at first, and then I thought this Bengal defensive line is just going to wreak havoc on the Colt offensive line. I take Bengals in a blowout here. Last time Cardinals played a formidable front was against the Cardinals. That was 40-11. 40-11. I'm taking something a little close to that here. I say Bengals 38. Indianapolis Colts 10. Their front is not going to give Andrew Luck much time. I think this Bengals secondary, while not very talented, they have been able to make some plays at times during this year. I think they get a couple picks, and I think Andy Dalton throws for 4 scores, and 2 of them go to A.J. Green. Another game that might have some playoff implications, Cowboys, Bears. Bears second in their division. Cowboys first, but they got the Eagles on their tails. The Bears, they're trying to catch up with the Lions. Bears have struggled a bit past few weeks with Josh McCown. Started out well, but defenses have kind of figured him out. Cowboys, though, got down a little quick against the Raiders on Thanksgiving. People got a little concerned, but they were able to come back and win it. I think it's going to be a good game. Both defenses have underperformed, but Sean Lee for the Cowboys might be coming back. That's going to be huge. As much as I hate to say it, I think the Cowboys are going to win. This Bear defense is dead last in the league in rushing yards allowed, 150. Yes, 150 yards a game on the ground. I think and without Lance Dunbar, I think Murray gets like 5 or 10 more carries. I say Murray rushes for 175. Yeah, 175, couple scores. I think the Cowboys run the ball hard, keep it out of the Bear offense, which can be explosive at times. Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall, Martellus Bennett, and all-purpose back Matt Forte. I think Cowboys win this one 27-14. I don't think the Bears have enough defense to top Tony Romo. Even though he's 11-15 in December, I think he makes it 12-15 on Sunday. Few other games that don't have a lot of playoff implications, but they might. Denver and Tennessee Titans, though, even with the loss, being swept by the Colts last Sunday, they're still in the run for a wild card spot. So if they can get a win over the Broncos, which most people don't see happening, but it is possible. Last time the Broncos played an AFC South team, they lost. So they've struggled against those guys. So I don't know. The Titans have a pretty good secondary that can play some physical defense. I don't know. And Devereaux Casey, Titans might be able to get a win. And Ryan Fitzpatrick being able to move the ball. And we all know that the Broncos defense is not very strong. I'm actually going to go ahead and take upset of the week. I take the Titans. I think Chris Johnson runs wild, $160 in the touchdown. I think Fitzpatrick does a little under 250 passing yards. But I think he's a high completion percentage, and I think he keeps Peyton Manning off the field. Taking Titans 27, Denver Broncos 21. Yes, upset of the week. Another game. That's not much many playoff implications, if any, but definitely another game of football to watch. Jets, Raiders, two rookie quarterbacks, going up against each other. Geno's been just terrible last few weeks, although the Jets said he will start this week. Matt McGloin and the Raiders, despite losing to the Cowboys, Matt McGloin has definitely shown some progress and some poise in the pocket, and maybe he'll be their starting guy in the future. Something Terrell Pryor did not show, despite being very athletic and speedy on the read option. I don't know who to pick. I want to say the Jets because if their defense will get after Matt McGloin. But then my other side says take the Raiders because Geno's going to turn it over 3, 4, maybe 5 times. I'm going to go with my gut and take the Raiders. I don't like the Raiders winning. I hate the Raiders personally. But with the way the Jets have been playing lately, and then they lost again on Sunday, 23-3, take the Raiders. I think they do just enough to win. They aren't better than the Jets, but I think at this point they're better enough to get a victory. Raiders 23, Jets, I don't know, anywhere between 3 and 9 points. Kansas City, Washington, Chiefs now 3 straight losses. Redskins coming off a kind of sort of ridiculous loss. I don't know, honestly, what's going to happen in this game. KC only 1 sack, well, what, 2 sacks? No, I think 1 or 2 sacks in the past 3 weeks. They had 36 in the first 9. I want to say KC. I think the Redskin defense is going to be exploited by Jamal Charles, Alex Smith, Dwayne Bowe. Chiefs potentially have their new return man, Niall Davis, returned to kickoff 108. Yes, 108 yards on Sunday against the Broncos. Redskins, they got RG3, Pierre Garçon, Alfred Morris. I think it's going to come down to which team turns it over more. We know RG3's been a little bit turnover happy this year. We know despite the recent struggles, the Chiefs can force you into some turnovers. So I think if KC get a few turnovers, and if they can get some defensive stops unlike last week, I think KC can win it. I'm taking KC 30, Washington 17. Browns, Patriots. This is going to be an interesting game. Browns for Bill Belichick's one of his old teams. I was actually just checking out NFL Network. There's Thursday Night Football. 40 minutes to the game actually. 40 minutes and 50 seconds. And counting till the game. I don't know. The Browns, despite a losing record, again, they've played pretty well. Joe Hayden, T.J. Ward, Josh Gordon just been amazing. I don't know if they beat the Patriots, but I think they make this one close. I think they make this real close. The defense is playing well. Talib will be on Josh Gordon. That'll be interesting. Talib is physical, but Josh Gordon just has flat-out speed. I'm taking Patriots 27-26. I think this game was a lot closer than what people are going to expect. Actually, they're showing the playoff picture. Denver, 1st seed. New England, 2nd seed. Indianapolis, 3rd seed. Cincinnati, 4th seed. KC, the wild card, and the Ravens, 6th seed. I just wanted to let you guys know I'm watching the pregame show. Yeah, that's the playoff picture. So I got 3rd and the 4th seed going up against each other on Sunday. Colts, Bengals. Falcons, Packers. Falcons, well, they're pretty much focused on next year. They're so focused on next year. They're saying that Tony Gonzalez probably is going to be there next year. And they're trying to get Levine Toilolo, the second string, huge second string tight end. He's 6'8". They're trying to get him more involved because they know Tony G is not going to be there. Packers, they've pretty much fallen flat without Aaron Rodgers. He might play this week. He might not. For Packers fans, I hope that he doesn't. I hope maybe so he doesn't get hurt again. But the Packers could sure use a lift. Their offense has been completely flat, dead, non-existent. Eddie Lacy was doing well. They've just keyed on him and pretty much shut him down. I don't know. I think the key to this game is which offense. I think this week Falcons can win. They beat the Bills after getting down early. And I think the Falcons, as bad as they are, I think they get a win. Packers, despite all the receivers and tight ends they have, Matt Flynn, Scott Tolzien, Seneca Wallace, Vince Young, they're not good enough quarterbacks at this point in their careers. Right now, outside of Aaron Rodgers, the only guy that can make the Packers better probably like Bart Starr. He's like, I don't know, 60, 70, maybe more years old. Take Falcon win here. I think Falcons score 35 plus. Green Bay scores under 10. Another couple games. Buffalo, Tampa Bay, Miami, Pittsburgh. Start with Miami. Despite all the off-season, all the off-the-field drama, the Dolphins are still fighting at 5-7, but so are the Steelers. Mike Tomlin fined $100,000 for his illegal actions. Was on the field of play during a Jacoby Jones return. Stick to the game, the actual game. I don't know. I think this is going to be a good game. I think both teams are fighting. When you get two teams fighting, you tend to get the best football. Ryan Tannehill and the Dolphins. Mike Wallace starting to get in. They got got a touchdown, and now 2 straight weeks. See if he can make it 3. He'll probably be Ike Taylor, and I should probably run down the list of those who have torched Ike Taylor. Rookie Aaron Dobson of the Patriots, 180 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Gordon did 237, did 200 or so, 19 or so in a touchdown, and then Torrey Smith burned him for 60-something yards on Thanksgiving. So Ike Taylor, despite being a very good man-to-man corner, he struggles with the fast receivers in the league. I think Mike Wallace gets over 100 yards and maybe a touchdown or 2 on his former team. Ultimately, though, I see the Steelers winning. Steelers, despite struggling early in the year, they're just playing too well. Miami, while they're also fighting, they're not playing well enough. And then I think the Steelers defensive line gets to Tannehill at least 3 to 4 times, but then again, who hasn't? Buffalo, Tampa Bay, neither of these teams going to the playoffs. But the Buccaneers look like they have their future guy. Mike Glennon has been phenomenal past few weeks. The offense has done pretty well even without Doug Martin, Tyquan Underwood, Vincent Jackson, Timothy Wright have all performed well, and Bobby Rainey. After Martin went down, Mike James came in, then Mike James went down, then it was Peyton Hillis, really Brian Leonard, but Rainey had a lot more speed, so they went ahead with Bobby Rainey, and he's rushed for close to 200 yards in the past couple weeks, so it'll be definitely interesting to see how he performs against his Bill front that has not been very stout against the run. Buffalo Bills, well, they might have their guy, but he's been banged up, and the Bills have just not played very well past weeks. Drops, sacks, allowing opponents to score a lot of points, allowing third down conversions. I think the Bucs are on the rise. I think they're a really good team. I think they're one of the best teams in the league, actually. I mean, they're just not playing like it, but I think with Mike Glennon, the guy, quarterback, who can make plays, make all the throws, accurate guy, pocket presence, poise, accuracy, pocket awareness, everything Josh Freeman dreamt he could have. I think Bucs get this win. I think Glennon has other good offensive output, and I think the Bucs defense shuts down E.J. Manuel. I think Barron gets a pick, and I think Revis also gets an interception. Last two games, San Diego, New York, St. Louis, Arizona. San Diego, New York, team that drafted Eli in 2004 and then traded him to the Giants so the Chargers could select Phillip Rivers. I don't know. The Giants refuse to die. They're like, no disrespect, but they're like roaches. You know how you try to kill a roach and they just won't die? You smash them with your shoe, they won't die. You kick them, they won't die. You throw water on them, they still get up. They just won't die. Well, the Giants refuse to go away. Every week, they just seem to just put it together. It's not the prettiest type of football you'll see in a while. It's not the most productive type of football, but they are getting wins. The Chargers, on the other hand, beat KC in a big game against the Chiefs in Arrowhead 2 weeks ago, and then on Sunday they fell flat at home to the Bengals. The Bengals rushed over 230 yards on them. Chargers just couldn't stop the run, and the Giants are a team that can run the football. Pound that ball, says Tom Coughlin. Andre Brown, Peyton Hillis, Michael Cox. I think Giants get the win here, move to 6-7, and believe it or not, the New York Giants, believe it or not, the New York Giants are still in the hunt at 5-7. They're moving to 6-7 here, and not the Chargers further down. I think Andre Brown rushes for well over 100 yards in the score. I think Eli plays conservative ball, and if you're waiting for Victor Cruz and Akeem Nicks to get free, to break out, I think it's this week. This Chargers secondary is pitiful. But they let Donnie Avery get a touchdown. Donnie Avery, a couple weeks ago. Giants 27, Chargers 16. Look out for the Rivers. Here comes Justin Tuck. Final game, Rams, Cardinals. Andre Ellington's a little banged up for the Cards. He might not play, so it looks like he'll probably be Mendenhall and Stephon Taylor. That's just a note for those of you who play fantasy football and are interested in the Cardinal running back. The Rams, they will pretty much struggle pretty badly. Against the Niners 2 weeks ago, and then last week I cannot remember who they played. Who did the Rams play? Who did the Rams play? I cannot remember who the Rams played last week. I really can't. Trying to figure out who the Rams play. Hold on, give me like 5 minutes. I'll try to figure that out. Who the Rams play. I cannot remember who the Rams played. Cannot. Hold on. See if I can pull it up. I'm trying to remember who the Rams played. I can't remember who the Rams played last week. Hold on, let's see if I can get it. Yeah, okay, so last week, not 2 weeks ago, it was last week, they lost to the Niners 23-3. They got the Cardinals this week. I don't know, the Cardinals, believe it or not, are they in the playoffs? No, they're in the hunt. But at 7-4, coming off a loss, 7-4, 7-5. Disappointing loss to the Eagles and Nick Foles, but they're still playing well. Palmer has dropped the turnovers big time lately. Michael Floyd has really developed as a go-to guy outside of Larry Fitzgerald, and his Cardinal defense has been completely dominant. They actually got a pick of Nick Foles last week, which would have ended the streak, but the pick was taken back because of a holding penalty, a Tyrann Matthew. So, hey, but they were the first one to actually pick him off. So that was definitely a bright spot. I think the Cardinals. I don't think this should be a hard game for the Cardinals. Kellen Clemens, at this point in his career, just is not a starting caliber guy. Even though, yeah, he has played well overall this year, in place of Sam Bradford. Zach Stacy, rookie out of California or Nevada. He's done pretty well running the football, but the Cardinals, too much offense and way too much defense. They're going to have to force Kellen Clemens to throw the football, and with the underperforming group of Rams receivers, that's just not going to work out. I take Cardinals here 28-16. And once again, Texans and Jaguars tonight in just under 29 minutes. Again, I take Jaguars here, Jaguars, let's say maybe 24-16 over the, is that what I said? I can't remember if that's what I said. Yeah, something like that, 24-16, Jaguars over the Texans. I think the Jaguars get a big upset. The Jaguars, despite the record, they are definitely a much better team than what people give them credit for. They have a lot of potential on that team. Outside of that, just want to go through the rundown of the major news. Mike Tomlin again getting fined $100,000 for stepping on the field on Thanksgiving against the Ravens, $100,000, and the penalty and the draft pick penalty still up in the air. They said they're going to wait till the official NFL draft order is finalized. So still got that hanging over the head. Big mistake by Mike Tomlin. Big fine. So if it's a warning to other coaches, and Mike Tomlin, I hope not to do that one again. Outside of that, outside of that, that is it. I will hopefully be with you guys sometime either tomorrow, Saturday, or early Sunday to recap tonight's game. I'm Devereaux Frazier here. Good night.